Hello everyone, this is Bread. We're going to take another look at Total War Warhammer. I've been playing this game a little bit more, and I wanted to restart since my Empire couple episodes that I did went horribly for me. I'm going to try the Vampire Counts. The von Karsteins are an abominable bloodline of undead nobles from Sylvania. Striking out at the head of a mighty undead host, a vampire lord can raise the dead, summoning them to his indomitable will. Vlad and Manfred von Karstein each believe they should be the eternal emperor, something Karl Franz will learn as the living pay tribute to their unholy majesty.
I'll take Shilo's throne. Let us make do.
I like Heinrich Himmler, the Lichmaster. Heinrich Himmler burns with the need for power. Having recognized the limits that mortality placed upon him in his early years, Himmler made it his life's work to escape them. He plunged into the world of necromancy as a young man, and by the time he had reached his 40th year, he was able to raise entire graveyards of corpses to do his bidding. Himmler became a great, much-feared necromancer, plundering every wizard's tower and ancient temple he could find in search for dark truths. His star was in the ascendant for many decades until ambitious rivals united to bring him to his knees. Although he finally managed to scatter his attackers with a great spell of confusion, Himmler's body was broken and his mind blasted in the battle. For many years, Heinrich wandered as little better than a half-sane beggar. By some quirk of fate, he uncovered the tomb of a long-dead Chaos champion, whose burial mound was so magnificent it towered above him. Here Himmler struck a terrible pact with the gods. They restored him to his former power. In return, Heinrich swore to slay and destroy in their name. Now the name of the Lichmaster once again strikes terror in the hearts of ordinary folk. We'll watch their intro.
War is eternal. As inevitable as the grave. The old world, the rotting corpse within. Some fools think it worth saving. But there are beings who wish to bring about an eternal night. I am a bearer of law to those with such power. Vampire Counts of the von Karstein bloodline. My master, Manfred, has returned from the dead once more. He marches on the von Karstein ancestral pile of Castle Dragonhof. For I have brought him ill news that a master necromancer has claimed the fortress as his own. Manfred must retake his ancient stronghold, and either destroy the usurper within, or bind him to his will.
It skips that battle unless you play Manfred, and I prefer Heinrich Himmler over Manfred. I'm going to explain a little bit about what the undead units do and how the undead work. But I'm going to kind of quickly go about it so that I can show you some of the combat.
The von Karsteins have risen once again, mighty Lichmaster, and you are to march into the world as their chosen champion. Let them believe you are their willing puppet. For now, there is much to be done. The Templehof brood control the lands to the north as far as the River Ster. Conflict with them is inevitable, but your will is indomitable. Take their lands, burn their crypts, and deploy their own dead against them. The high mountains to the south are infested with dwarfs. Your homelands will never be safe with such an enemy so close. Make plans to drive their stunted kind out in time. A great destiny awaits you, Kemler. It has been foreseen. Bring about eternal night, and you shall be rewarded.
Yeah, they're not nice people. Templehof brood must be crushed in battle before they are able to regain their strength. Another victory against von Kruger's armies will leave his lands ripe for taking. Defeat an army belonging to the faction in battle, Templehof. So, just real quickly, the undead faction can raise dead. Anywhere they are, they can recruit low-quality troops, or where there's been a large battle, they can recruit high-quality troops for about the same cost that you can recruit back home, and you spread vampiric corruption. So here, the vampiric corruption is going to be 100%. As you get into areas that don't have as high corruption, you'll begin to suffer attrition. Basically, vampiric corruption represents your ability to subjugate the mortals in that region. You know, vampires moving in, turning the aristocracy into vampires, as well as, you know, being tyrannical with the common folk. And, you know, forcing them to bend the knee, essentially, to the vampires. If the vampiric corruption is too low, when you take an area, you're going to have public order issues and even a rebellion if you don't deal with it. The undead do not rout from battle. They will fight until slain or until your leader is slain. However, they do still have leadership. Once the leadership falls so low, they begin to take they begin to take damage instead of fleeing. So Heinrich starts with Cairn Wraiths, which are ghostly infantry, Hex Wraiths, which are ghostly cavalry, Dire Wolves, 2 units of zombies, 2 units of skeletons. The zombies are more or less expendable. I don't use them a lot. The first thing we're going to do, though, is recruit. And we're going to do the ones that give us growth first and vampiric corruption so that we can maintain our stranglehold over the regions that we have. It kind of intends for you to just jump over here and attack him instantly, but that's not what I'm going to do. I like to build strength. You know, they have 2 little armies. Well, if I have 1 big army, I can start to really whoop on. So he is raiding. It steals that amount of money from me, and it lowers my public order. Of course, it's not affecting it enough for it to really matter. And where both of their armies are small. Okay, so he's going to kind of force my hand. By attacking the castle, I can no longer recruit.
Obliterate.
So, this is the garrison of Castle Drakenhof, and this is my army. He has no chance of victory, so I am going to auto-resolve this rather than fight it out. I meant to auto-resolve it, but I can show you a crushing victory instead. I misclick a lot. You should ask Crispy about it. Like, we'll be playing games, and I'll use items and accidentally upgrade the wrong thing. And
yes, he does.
like, even without the reinforcements, I could take him. So our cavalry has vanguard deployment, and so do our direwolves. That means we can deploy them out here. So I am going to put them here, and the direwolves here, well onto their flank. I don't want zombies in my front line because they suck. I'm going to leave my center as the Karen Wraiths and use the zombies to flank rather than depend on them. So we'll put a unit of zombies here, a unit of zombies here. It's a little more complex when you get into larger fights, and I do have reinforcements coming from this way. That is the garrison, but I may not end up needing them. I will definitely use them. So you can gamble and get more winds of magic, which is basically your mana pool. It also recharges 1 power per 6 seconds. That's pretty slow. I mean, it doesn't sound slow, but in the middle of a battle, that's basically once you burn it, it's gone. But I don't have a whole lot of magic yet with this character. I kind of want them to come to me because I don't want to charge up that hill. So what we're going to do, unless I can hit their flank, and so I'm going to harry them with these units while these guys get in. I am just going to put these guys on line right here. If you right click and drag, you can put them in a line formation. Let them double time it over there. I am going to put these guys here like so. And we will harry them with these cavalry because they don't take a lot of damage from conventional weapons. And the dire wolves are pretty well expendable as far as I'm concerned. Now I'm going to disengage. Let's see if they're dumb enough to open up their flanks. We've got them all clustered up, so let's go ahead and hit them. We will have the crypt ghouls hit these guys. You guys hit these guys, and we're going to send all of you, as long as you make it here unbroken and unchallenged, right there. We're going to move Heinrich up. That circle increases the leadership of any unit that is within it. So these guys are going to begin to get hurt. There's no doubt about that. But they're going to get attacked in their flank. That heals my units. And we will watch this play out. I'm gonna go ahead and summon Krill. I can summon a skeleton warrior who's very powerful. An ancient white that serves Nagash first and foremost. We'll summon him right in the middle of their units. And their units are already breaking. Let's go ahead and have the Lich Master attack these guys. As we close in with the Grave Guard, which are more powerful versions of the Skeleton Infantry. We've got this on lockdown. This is done. Achievement unlocked, highly unlikely. I wish I could mouse over it and tell me what it was for. The corpses of the enemy litter the ground, and those still able to flee do so with laughter of our gods ringing in their ears. So we lost 50, they lost 661. We crushed them. We will dominate the captives. So you have three options. You can return the captives, which basically you ransom them back to them. When you do that, you get a minus to your casualty replenishment rate, because for the undead, they don't like not being able to eat the captives. You can murder the captives, which increases your leadership. You feed them to the wolves. Or you can dominate them and use them, which is what I will do. I got the Golden Sigil Sword.
Eshin is vulnerable to attack, Dark Lord. Seize it from the enemy to open a new front to the north.
Dropped my vape. So they want me to attack Eshin. I'm not going to do that right yet. We're going to finish crushing these guys. This time I will auto-resolve. We will again dominate the captives so that we don't lose anything. That one wolf will come back.
Across the map. You dare. World domination is ours.
And we will go ahead and level him up. I'm sorry. What I did was make it so that the level of skeletons and zombies I recruit are raised. And that's why I did away with that recruiting process, because now the skeletons and zombies I recruit will be of higher level, higher quality. And then we're going to crush him, take the castle, take Eshin, and decide what to do from there. Okay, so you want to go reinforce Eshin. That means I may very well just take your capital city, but whatever you feel like you should do, my friend, whatever you feel like you should do. we're going to take this at least as far as baleful rituals. That gives me growth. Growth is what allows you to build higher tier buildings in each settlement. As the growth increases, it unlocks those buildings. So I'll show you. So like, this requires a higher growth than what I have. Requires a population surplus of 2. Mine is only 1. Haven't decided what I'll build yet, so we will wait on it.
Tomb rot.
Gonna wait until this army is at its maximum size.
My lord, a rival power desires a change in your mutual relations.
Alright, Vlad, we can be friends. Last time I did this, once they got weak, I just crushed them. I stepped on their throat when they had nothing left. But I wasn't the one that attacked them. I just finished them off. And we will wait one more turn. Also, if you have multiple armies, if they're near each other, they can reinforce each other out here. Like, if you notice when I mouse over him or the town, there's a red circle around them. That's the distance in which they can reinforce. Another of our bloodline has requested that we weaken a mortal's position by seizing the enemy region. Should we do this, our sibling will swear fealty, or so they say. I have 8 turns to do this. I get $500, and my diplomatic relations with von Karstein increases by 10. I'm not terribly worried about that.
Then go.
We are going to seize Castle Tempelhof and Fort Obersteier.
War it is.
So we will begin the siege of Castle Tempelhof. I will... So that's how much labor force you have and what's available per turn. I'm going to build 2 battering rams and 2 towers and wait it out.
Destroy them.
I'm hoping they leave Eschen. If they leave Eschen, I'm going to break the siege and attack them. I'm going to retreat because I will not be able to win that fight. Okay. A great migration comes to our borders demanding shelter from the larger threats abroad. Do we let them cross into our territory or turn them away? I am going to welcome... That's rough on my growth for 10 turns. Be gone.
Let us make doom. Obliterate. Commit, minions, commit.
I am going to auto-resolve this. That was a little more painful than I liked, but it really only hurt my units that were already expendable as far as I'm concerned. Heinrich leveled up. We will occupy. So you can occupy, which causes the least effect to the public order. You can loot and occupy, which damages the buildings, hurts the public order more, and occupies it. Loot it, which just gives you money but leaves it with the same faction, or destroy the settlement altogether.
The taint of undeath is spread by your conquests, mighty lord.
Since
Your realm grows, and more distant.
Since Count Manfred's unfortunate defeat at Helfen, Sylvania has been in decline. No longer is it feared as the dread land where the dead do not rest, but instead it is seen as Stirland's bastard child. Now von Karstein resides in Castle Drakenhof once again. It is time for the vampires to take dominion over their haunted realm. So there's one turn where you have a conquest penalty. Well, I can't really mouse over it and show you. You have that conquest penalty that's minus 10 on the public order. The taxes are always minus 4 if we're taxing the region, and minus 3, the provincial instability, it goes minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. I'm going to stay here for a turn, get some troops back, and then move away, because the most of that it will be gone. We will go down his spell tree next, and I'll show you what each of these spells do as I unlock them.
That sleep wanes and more sleep waxes. Of course, I was expecting you.
Yeah, I'll take a trade agreement. I don't know why I'm not, trading gold with them, since I have gold access in Castle, but whatever. I may have to build that first gold mine building before I get access to it, but there is gold in that region. Anytime you mouse over a town, it'll tell you, see that little gold bar on the far right? That is telling me that it's available. You can also see it represented as a little gold mine over here. These guys end up getting wine. Well, you can see it on the far right. Wine. They don't have anything. They have lumber.
They will all pay. Grave times.
I am going to not recruit a hero, recruit another lord. We will get Engelbert Hellschnitzt.
What a name.
Darkness
And
this one.
the reason I didn't fill out his roster is eventually we'll be able to recruit other things that are more interesting. And rather than have to disband the already existing troops, I'm just not going to recruit as many. They say you revel in victory. They say you spend more time erecting monuments to battles past than managing the realm. They say you are a fool. Perhaps a more humble approach. And that doesn't affect the ones that I've already selected. Yeah, that's quite a bit less expensive. Baleful rituals. We'll do next. There's a cost you pay per unit you recruit and an upkeep each turn. I don't know what the greenskins want down there, but as long as they mess with Vlad and not me, it's not my problem. So what I'll do is send this guy north, and they will either come to defend these settlements, or we will take them. Okay, von Karstein has been obliterated. There's nothing left apart from the echoing laughter of thirsting gods. Yeah, I don't guess I don't need to do anything to help them. Another of our bloodline has requested that we oh, yeah, it was just the same stuff. The omens are ill. Something you have done has angered the gods, yet they are fickle. They may forgive you in time, or more immediate appeasement might be necessary. Yeah, let's go with the growth. And so what I'm going to do is build up my strength with my two armies here. Take these and either subjugate this faction or destroy it altogether. And then we will see what happens from there. Alright, guys, that's going to be all the time that we have for today. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Dislike if you don't like what we're doing. And please comment. All of your feedback is welcome. I hope you have a good rest of your day.